Welcome back to Under the Moon. Now it's time for the best of this week's NBA action. The Chicago Bulls against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Now this game has been billed as possibly Michael Jordan's last appearance at this legendary venue, so all eyes are on the great man. But Knicks coach Jeff Van Gundy will be hoping his players don't show too much respect. So here we go, from the top, the big game.
You're not a true superstar until you can step into Madison Square Garden and do your job and earn their respect in front of them.
It didn't take long for Michael Jordan to earn the approval of New York's discerning basketball fans. In just his 6th game as a pro, he opened on Broadway with 33. In the early 90s, at the height of the heated Chicago-New York rivalry, Jordan and the Bulls frustrated the Knicks' championship aspirations with 3 consecutive postseason victories. New York was always left looking toward next year, always looking up at number 23. In 1995, Michael's comeback was fully validated when he posted the double nickel in just his 5th game back from baseball. He calls Madison Square Garden the Mecca of basketball. Tonight, Michael Jordan plays in what could be his last game in New York.
The game of the week. Today, it's the Chicago Bulls versus the New York Knicks.
The cold fact is, it's just one game in the NBA's 82-game regular season grind. But try telling that to the sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden, some of whom paid scalpers' prices approaching $2,000 for a single ticket to what could be Michael Jordan's final game at Madison Square Garden. We underline could because these teams might meet in the playoffs this year, and it's uncertain as to whether Michael will play beyond this year. But there is a possibility that this could be his farewell to a building where he has continually excelled. Hi, everybody. Bob Costas along with Isaiah Thomas, and Zeke, I know you're feeling it too.
Yes, definitely. Bob, for Michael Jordan, there's a special kind of relationship he has with the New York crowd. There's a magic that he brings. There's a love that he has for the game. And whenever he steps on the Broadway stage, he lights it up. The fans love when Michael comes to town. He loves entertaining them. And today he wants to do something really, really special for him, Bob.
Over the years, he's averaged better than 32 points a game in this building, including 44 just after New Year's, the last time the Bulls played here when they beat the Knicks 90-89. In fact, the Bulls have won the 2 games this year head-to-head against New York and 10 of the last 14 regular season games these 2 teams have played. But remember, Jeff Van Gundy is doing a fine job with a Knicks team depleted by injuries. It began with the wrist injury to Patrick Ewing, likely out for the season. Then Chris Dudley, Chris Childs, and now Buck Williams follow him onto the injured list, and yet Van Gundy has them in the 6th overall playoff spot in the East.
Bob, Van Gundy has done a remarkable job in revamping his offense. What used to feature Patrick Ewing now features Allen Houston. Allen has responded to the challenge. His minutes are up, his points are up, and his shot selection is increasingly good. Look for Allen Houston and Michael Jordan to do battle tonight. Allen Houston say his best defense is his offense.
Time for the lineups. Here's the PA announcer at Madison Square Garden, Mike Walzeski.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Tonight's game features the Chicago Bulls and your New York Knicks. The head coach of the Bulls is Phil Jackson. Now for the Bulls starting lineup. At guard at 6'6", from Miami of Ohio, number 9, Ron Harper. At guard at 6'6", from North Carolina, number 23, Michael Jordan. At forward at 6'11", from Croatia, number 7, Toni Kukoc. At forward at 6'7", from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. And at center at 6'8", from Southeast Oklahoma State, number 91, Dennis Rodman. Luke Longley, Randy Brown are injured and will not play. For your New York Knicks, the head coach is Jeff Van Gundy. from Tennessee, number 20, Allen Houston. And guard at 6'2" from Florida State, number 21, Charlie Ward. And forward at 6'7" from UNLV, number 2, co-captain Larry Johnson. And forward at 6'7" from Arizona, number 42, Chris Mills. And at center at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, co-captain Charles Oakley. Chris Childs is injured and will not play. Tonight's officials are Joe Crawford, Mike Callahan.
And now let's check in courtside with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. You know that the New York Knicks are the oldest team in the NBA. You can look at that one of two ways, as just they're old, or you can look at it the way the Chicago Bulls look at it, that they are a veteran team that has a lot of pride and a lot of heart, which they showed last week when they beat the Lakers. Now, Michael Jordan, on this being his last game, he says he doesn't want to say that this is his last game here in the Garden because that would not only be disrespectful to the Knicks, but also they may end up playing them again in the playoffs. Now, Isaiah talked about it being a love affair with Michael here in the Garden, and Michael says that because of that love affair, he's going to do something special. And that special something is wearing his original Air Jordan shoes. And he said he also hopes to give him about 55. Bob?
All right, Ahmad, thanks. We told you about the Knicks injuries, including, of course, Patrick Ewing out, and now Chris Dudley is back up at center, following him onto the injured list. That means Charles Oakley is at center tonight. But the Bulls have also made some moves. Luke Longley, with an injured knee, didn't make the trip in from Chicago. He misses his third straight game. And Randy Brown goes on the injured list with a strained left Achilles. Steve Kerr, their best three-point shooter, finally back after missing a couple of months with a separated shoulder, told me before the game he feels pretty close to 100% and could play his usual quota of minutes if called upon to do so.
Well, with Steve Kerr being back in the lineup, that gives the Chicago Bulls the type of three-point shooting that they need.
Rodman and Oakley, although Kukoc at 6'11" will jump center, Rodman and Oakley making for an interesting matchup in the middle. And the tip controlled by Chicago. Joey Crawford, Mike Callahan, and Greg Willard are the officials tonight. Larry Johnson on Kukoc, who misses the game's first shot. Rodman keeps it alive, but he can't hit. And Oakley is there, playing extremely well. The numbers reflect that, since they moved him from a forward spot to the middle after Dudley's injury. We welcome those of you who watched the Seattle-Minnesota game. A good one, a 99-98 Sonic win. Here's Larry Johnson hitting for the first points of this game between the Knicks and the Bulls. Welcome to the Garden. Bob Costas with Isaiah Thomas. Larry Johnson has really stepped it up, as has Allen Houston, picking up some of the slack offensively since the departure of Patrick Ewing. Harper got it to Pippen, but then it was knocked away and into the hands of Houston. Charlie Ward. With a good dish, and Johnson with his second basket.
Well, Johnson seems to be trying to have his way with Pippen inside. That's a mismatch that Van Gundy would try to exploit early in the game.
Kukoc out of the corner. A two-point basket just inside the line.
Now, Larry Johnson will have problems with Kukoc because he can go inside and outside.
Kukoc has played much better as a starter than off the bench this year. Chris Mills with Kukoc on him. Cross-court pass intercepted by Michael. Cut off by Houston. Dishes to the driving Pippen. The Bulls tie it at 4. Charlie Ward nearly had a triple-double on Friday night against Philadelphia. 17 points, 9 assists, 8 boards. Fires a long one and hits it. Three-pointer for Ward. He's one of the league's best.
Charlie Ward's an excellent three-point shooter. He wants to get into the lane also, though.
Jordan hasn't attempted a shot yet. Here's his first. Spins out. Rebound Mills. Johnson against Pippen. Into the lane. Left hands it up and misses it. Chased to the side by Oakley, but it belongs to Chicago. That was the first misfire on a field goal attempt for the Knicks tonight. They're 3 for 4.
Now, when Larry Johnson puts it on the floor, Chicago wants to come with a double team. Larry Johnson wants to back Pippen into the lane, use his upper body strength on the smaller Pippen, but Kukoc will come on the double team.
Pippen around Mills into the lane, and he banks it home.
Now, this is a matchup that Pippen will be able to exploit with Chris Mills. Pippen can put it on the floor, drive around him. Chris Mills not necessarily known for his defense, but on the other end, he'll try to take Pippen on the outside.
Pippen with 4 of Chicago's 6 points. Houston, baseline jumper. Allen Houston finally is something of a go-to guy early in his career. Of course, Grant Hill was there and Joe Dumars in Detroit. And here in New York, until the injury, it was Ewing. Pippen.
Well, the change in Van Gundy's offense, they're not a power team now. They don't go to Patrick Ewing in the middle. They like to run Allen Houston off baseline screens, and they want to make Michael Jordan work tonight in chasing him around those screens.
Scotty with 6 of Chicago's 8. Houston with the turnaround, and he drills another one. Man, he's playing with confidence. He looks like a different guy. Looks like the guy the Knicks thought they were getting when they signed him a year ago. Pippen takes it right to the hole and draws the foul.
But you see, New York wants to make Jordan work. They want to run him off screen. They got Houston coming off baseline. He gives him the fake, and he goes up for the shot. He caught Michael Jordan coming around, and he chased him a little too far. Allen Houston told us before the game that his best defense against Jordan is a good offense. A lot of players, when they play against Michael Jordan, they forget that they have to score. Allen Houston wants to come out and establish himself early tonight.
Pippen off to a good start with 7 as he hits the free throw. The Bulls haven't played since Tuesday, when they had an easy walk through the United Center against Denver. That night, the Knicks beat the Nets here, and since then, they've played twice on the road, losing at Washington and at Philadelphia Thursday and Friday. This is their 3rd game in 4 days. Chicago, on the other hand, should have fresh legs for this one. Knicks lead at 11-10. Houston is open. 3 in a row.
But Charlie Ward just did a very smart thing right there. Van Gundy called a high screen and roll for he and Oakley at top. He waved Oakley off, and he made him go down to the baseline because he knows he's got a hot man in Houston, and he wants to keep getting him the ball.
Gave him a good look at the 3, which gives the Knicks a 14-10 lead.
You see, Houston will come around the screen again. They want to keep Michael Jordan chasing. Charlie Ward had called it off. Michael Jordan gets caught on the screen. Houston for 3.
Foul was on Larry Johnson. Bulls ball out of bounds. Kukoc around Oakley. Pippen. Michael from 20. There's his first basket.
Now, when you look at Chicago out on the floor right now, they have Kukoc, Pippen, and Jordan. 3 guys who can penetrate and get it to the lane and create shots for others.
A look at Michael's first basket of the night. He had missed his opening attempt. Now he's 1 for 2. The Knicks, on the other hand, have hit 6 of 7 from the field. Timeout with 7:13 to play in the quarter. New York 14, Chicago 12. Rainy outside Madison Square Garden, and Scottie Pippen raining points on the Knicks early. He's hit all 3 from the field and 2 of 2 from the line.
What makes Michael and Scottie so special is Michael knows how to use Scottie. He understands how to set him up. He brings him down, feeds him, takes the pressure off of himself. Scottie brings it early. All the focus is on Jordan right now. Pippen, in the last 11 games, you see him starting to pick it up. Jordan starting to use him more, getting him ready for their playoff run and their playoff stretch.
Charlie Ward, who has 4 assists already, plus a basket, with the dribble up top. Now to Chris Mills, who stumbles and recovers. Kukoc all over him, 8 on the 24. 5 seconds to shoot. Houston lets it go, and it's there for him again.
Again, Charlie Ward finding his hot man.
A step inside the line, a 2-point bucket, 16-12 New York. The Knicks come out sizzling, hitting 7 of their first 8, including 4 of them by Houston. Swatted away by Oakley, out of bounds, and it's still Chicago ball. 6 on the shot clock as they put it in.
There's great defensive recognition by the Knicks. Everybody's eyes is on the ball. Everybody's watching all the cuts.
Michael, 2 seconds to shoot over Houston. Got it.
That's nothing you can do about that. That was great defense by Allen Houston, but a spectacular, great play by Michael Jordan.
And now here's Michael with the steal, 3-on-1. Ward's the only guy back. Michael takes it all the way and misses the left-hander, but Harper cleans it up.
Well, there was a no call by the referee right there, which was the right call. They had a 3-on-1 fast break. The referee didn't want to send him to the line, knew that one of their players would follow up, and besides being, the player was inside the dotted area.
Tied at 16. Oakley. Left alone, misses it badly. Kukoc has it. From 15 in, Oakley can be effective. That was a bit outside his range. Jordan for 3. Hitting only about 20% of his three-point tries this year, but feeling it tonight.
Yeah, I think he wants to do something special, as Ahmad indicated, with the shoes that he's wearing. He's accepting the challenge now of Allen Houston. He wants to set him down defensively, but he also wants to start attacking him offensively.
Mills from Houston. It's long, and Rodman has the rebound. Bulls with the ball on a 7-0 run to lead by 3. Taken away, and back comes Charlie Ward. And his pass eludes Houston.
That's all right. He's looking for the right guy, though. Charlie Ward, understanding of the game, has gotten better and better every year. He started out as a quarterback, but he's understanding how to play the point guard position in the NBA.
This could develop into a terrific shootout between Houston, who's riding a hot streak the last few weeks, and Jordan. Michael hits again.
Well, I like what we're seeing here, Bob, because both of these two guys have accepted the challenge. It must be the shoes. I told you, Bob, I wanted those shoes from the All-Star game.
Houston, coming in off the baseline, takes a nice pass from Ward, and he now has 11.
So you're watching Houston grow up. You're watching him mature as a player. He's accepted the responsibility of putting his team on his back and carrying them. Now they have to get Mills involved in the offense now.
Kukoc out of the corner. Misses it. Rebound across the bucket to Ward, who's fouled from behind by Harper. The basket by Houston a moment ago snapped a 9-0 Chicago run.
The pump fake by Jordan, and he brings him back to the right. He takes him left, then he brings him right. The drawing kick from Harper. They like to get into the lane. And then he stares them down and just shoots right over him. But there's nothing that Allen Houston can do because he's playing good defense. All the shots have been contested.
Michael has 9. Houston has 11. Ward driving baseline through a crowd. Finds Johnson, and Larry Johnson to the right hand, hitting off the glass.
See, the middle of the lane is open for both teams because you don't have a big center standing in the middle. There's no Longley, there's no Patrick Ewing, so everybody's allowed to move.
In and out for Michael on the turnaround, but Harper trying to keep it alive, and it rolls to Michael. A fresh 24 for Chicago. Rodman, the touch pass to Harper. Baseline jumper. Pippen scoops it up. Scotty with a leaner. Rebound Johnson.
He's got to get Mills involved right now. They got to run something for Mills.
Johnson from Oakley.
But Johnson will do. but right now you got Mills, and you got to try to get him some shots. You got to try to get him involved in the game because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose Johnson in Houston. Now you got Charlie Ward penetrating, Johnson turning around in the lane, surrounded by 3 players, still puts it in. He seals Scottie Pippen, pushes him off, then he turns around into the lane and shoots it right over him.
Houston has 11, Johnson has 8, and the Knicks have the lead.
Now, Van Gundy changed his offense around, and he wants to feature Allen Houston. They've gone to more of a box set as opposed to a power set. They feature Allen Houston coming off a baseline screen, freeing him open on the side. They like to penetrate and kick to him. And then Houston is smart enough as an offensive player where he can set you up and back cut you and look for the lob also. You got to give Van Gundy a lot of credit for changing the offense around, and you also got to give Houston a lot of credit for stepping up and meeting the challenge and carrying this team thus far on his back.
Chicago ball after the timeout. Michael with the hop step and the jumper. In and out. And Oakley is there on the boards. Charlie Ward, 7 assists already. His career high is 10. Oakley to Johnson on the baseline. 8 on the 24. Draws a triple team. Kukoc might have kicked it. It goes out of bounds and will belong to the Knicks. They get a fresh 24 on the kick ball. Chris Mills out, and John Starks makes his first appearance off the New York bench.
I think
Go ahead, Zeke.
Van Gundy recognized that Chris Mills was kind of struggling, and he wants to bring some more offensive punch into the game. That's why he brought Starks into the game.
Pippen touched it last. New York ball. A correction on Charlie Ward. His season high is 10 against Milwaukee. His career high, 12 assists. But he already has 7 in this first quarter. Starks bounces it back to Ward. Floater with the left hand, and he gets the roll.
Bob, you're absolutely right on Charlie Ward. You know, you can see the little things that he's picking up. The back cut he just made, he wouldn't have made that play 2 seasons ago, but he's starting to understand how to play the game of professional basketball. You see the back cut in the extension of the left hand. 2 years ago, he didn't have that in his repertoire, but he's learning how to play the game. He's learning how to read the defense. Just as a quarterback would in football, he's learning how to do that now in basketball.
Well, they say it usually takes a quarterback 3 or 4 years to get acclimated to a league, and he's the former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from Florida State. Steve Kerr, first appearance in quite a while, back from the shoulder injury. Wastes no time unleashing a 3 and hitting it.
Wow, that's nice. You know, to have that type of confidence in your first game back, to step up to the line and drop a 3 as soon as you step off the bench, that's huge.
Same kind of confidence he showed in hitting the championship winning shot in Game 6 at the United Center last June against Utah. Ward for 3. Way long. Johnson can't follow, but Oakley can, coming in from the right side. Plus a foul.
Now, Oakley usually has his way with Rodman underneath because Oakley is so big and strong. His legs are so powerful that he can push Rodman underneath. Usually, Rodman can battle those guys and push him away, but you see Oakley can come over him and push him underneath because he's so massive. Head-to-head, you see Oakley usually gives Rodman a very tough time because of the body strength. When you look at Rodman and Oakley, they can guard centers because they have the leverage. It's not about how tall you are, but it's about how much leverage you have underneath. We watched Oakley last week or a week ago guard Shaq in the middle and push him out. It's about how much leverage that you can get underneath, and Oakley and Rodman do a good job of that.
Foul on Rodman is first. 3-point play gives the Knicks the 3-point lead. Scott Burrell in for the first time. To Jordan and now Pippen. Scotty hits the turnaround.
Now with John Starks in the game, if he's guarding Pippen or Jordan, they'll take him right down to the low post because they feel they have a size advantage on him.
Johnson from Ward, another assist for Ward. And now he positions himself in front of Pippen, takes some contact. The actual call was traveling on Scotty. Either way, the ball goes to the Knicks.
Charlie Ward is right on the money, and he's playing every part of this game correct so far. I think the biggest growth in his development has come when Chris Childs is out of the game. When Chris Childs has been hurt, you have Houston and Stark. You see Ward understanding how to position himself and take the charge. But when
Ward for 3. Rodman has the rebound.
When the Knicks play 3 guards, they're a much more effective team than when they play 4 guards.
Burrell spins out. Oakley has it. Pegs it ahead for Johnson on the run, trying to save it and can't. and into the spectators.
But the pace of this game is incredible. You got a high-scoring game going on. The Knicks have 29 points in the first quarter. Traditionally, they're a low-scoring team, but you don't have the centers in the middle clogging down everything. The tallest player out on the floor is 6'7", 6'8", and there's a lot of movement, a lot of space, a lot of ball movement, pass movement. This is beautiful basketball that we're watching.
Jordan. And nothing more beautiful than watching him play.
He makes it look so easy, Bob.
He's in double figures now for the 819th consecutive game, extending his own record, 11 first quarter points.
When you can make it look that easy, it comes from hours and hours of practice.
The Knicks by 1. Shot clock at 4. Houston putting a capper on a terrific first period. He has 13. Jordan will beat the buzzer for 3. At the end of a torrid first period, the Knicks lead at 31-28. Houston and Jordan settling into what could be a shootout.
So at the first break, New York hold a slim lead. Now many people have written off the Knicks' chances this year because of the injury layoff of their top man, Patrick Ewing. But he was spotted last week having a few practice free throws, which led to a storm of speculation about a possible return. Since then, the Knicks have lost 3 on the trot. Distracted? Very possibly. Let's see if they can keep their concentration in the second quarter after this break.
It's a funny old world, brought to you by Fanta. In Fort Norman, Canada, ice block pushing was the highlight of the social calendar.
Neat block, Todd.
Well, thank you, Tammy. Conversation was either boring or very boring. Until one day, a special effect turned up that was to change their lives forever. From that moment on, the only ice blocks in Fort Norman were the little ones that come in rubber trays. Even long-lost cousins were impressed. But unfortunately for Todd...
Hey, neat drink, Tammy.
His chat-up technique was rubbish. Fanta, welcome to the world.
Chat and date tonight. Called a singles network on 0891 040404.
Now a powerful combination of germ-killing bleach and fresh fragrance in one block. Send in the experts. Harvick.
And now, new small-size Pringles. Absolutely stacked full of chips for when you're on the go, so when you can't stop, you can still pop.
Finish Double Action tablets revolutionized dishwashing to bring you outstanding cleaning results. And our best just got better, because now there's a plus. New extra powerful enzymes in the blue layer mean even the toughest baked-on food is broken down more easily. So the white layer can clean to an unbeatable shine. Isn't it time you tried new Finish Double Action Plus? Because our best just got better.
Madam, can I interest you in trying some Marmite today? Special commercial buyer. Do you like some Marmite?
Yes,
Not again. Can I get you to try some Marmite?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
And the taste buds may have changed because I'm taking longer punch. I've won £100,000.
No, Mum. Bit more emotion. Give me some more.
Get ready to appear on a spectacular new TV show.
I've won £100,000.
You could win up to £100,000. National Lottery Instance TV Dreams. If you're game, we are.
Get connected. Call the Gay Network now on 0891 54 54 54.
We assume that the celebrities in attendance did not have to resort to the scalpers, as many of those here at the Garden did. As we mentioned earlier, one of the hottest tickets in recent New York sports history, Matthew Modine and Billy Baldwin, frequently seen at the Garden. JFK Jr. is here. Elle McPherson. Woody Allen and Soon Yi frequently in attendance for a game against the Cavaliers or the Nuggets, so no surprise that they'd be here for the Bulls. And Wayne Gretzky, very possibly the greatest hockey player of all time, courtside to watch, likely the greatest basketball player of all time.
You know, when you talk about Gretzky and Jordan, what they've done for their sport is unbelievable. Without Jordan in basketball and without Gretzky in hockey, these sports wouldn't be where they are today. But forget about the sports and Gretzky and Jordan. Did you see those diamonds in Elle McPherson's ears?
You know, I missed that.
They were huge bricks like the one Starks just put up.
No dispute on the characterization of Starks' shot, and he has been really cold of late, really in a slump. Wennington in for the first time, and Wennington misses it. The follow for Pippen, no good, but he slaps it back up. That won't drop, and Oakley finally has it. Kerr gets in front and knocks it out of bounds. New York ball.
We talked to Phil Jackson earlier, and he said that he was concerned about his bench when they came into the game because they haven't had much practice time. He thought that they would be a little ragged, and they are a little bit right now.
Charlie Ward into Starks, guarded by Kerr. Into the lane, but loses it. Pippen comes away with it. Mills and Houston chasing it. Scotty to the bucket with the up and under. That's no good, but Rodman, trailing the play, slams it home.
Never gave up on the play. Ran all the way down, followed it up, and slammed it in. And I think he likes doing that. You see the big smile on Rodman's face.
Pippen trying to guard Houston to the baseline. Misses badly, but Oakley is there, and a whistle blows as Oakley goes up with a follow shot. Wennington picks up the foul.
Now watch Rodman. He never gives up on the play. There's a steal made, and he streaks down court. And watch the miss and the follow-up. He beats two offensive players down court to get it. Never stops running, times it. That's perfect. That's why he gets so many rebounds. He goes after every single one of them.
The Knicks allow fewer offensive rebounds per game than any other team in the NBA. They do a good job on the defensive boards. And in fact, the last time these two teams played, the Bulls were held, this is remarkable, to only 3 offensive rebounds in the game. But the rebound and stuff for Rodman was their 9th on the offensive glass in this first half. Oakley hits 1 of 2. The Knicks lead by 2. Kerr with another 3. And it's good again. Whatever rust he may have been suffering with, he worked it off during practice.
That just goes to show you the amount of practice time that he's put in, because he can step out on the court and shoot with this type of confidence right now.
Starks through a crowd. Still can't buy one, and Kerr has a rare rebound. Nick Ball on the turnover. They trail it by 1, 33-32. Houston and Johnson carrying the bulk of the load for the Knicks. This is first quarter scoring. Pippen with 10 and Jordan with 11 for Chicago.
Now, what both those graphs say to me is that both teams are executing remarkably well. They're doing exactly what the coach wants them to. New York wants to feature Houston and Johnson.
Tough shot for Houston, and he can't hit it.
And Chicago wants to feature Pippen and Jordan. They'll run Pippen right into the low post now to see what they can get out of it.
Wennington wide open. Bill Wennington still has some fans here. Played for a great St. John's team that included Walter Berry and Chris Mullin. Went to the Final Four in the 1980s. Greg Willard with a foul call, and we'll sort it out when we come back. 9:32 to play in the half. The Bulls by 3. Well, if you couldn't get a ticket to be inside, I guess there's entertainment to be had outside. The last foul call prior to the timeout was an illegal screen on Allen Houston. Having a big game thus far, we asked him yesterday about the differences in his approach since the Patrick Ewing injury.
There were times when Patrick, even though I may have had a good game, I may have been feeling it well, and I may have gotten 20 shots. But there were times when Patrick was in, well, I didn't know when my next shot was coming. I didn't know whether it be in transition or a set play. And now you can pretty much get a feel, you know, for when you're going to touch the ball and make something happen. It may not be a shot, but it may just be making a play, you know, on the offensive end.
Now, when you're the featured guy in the offense, you know exactly when your shots are going to come, when they're not going to come, and you don't worry about if you miss one or if you miss two. You get in a good shooting rhythm, you get your touches, and everything starts to flow from there.
Bulls with the ball and a 3-point lead. Kukoc. Michael in traffic. Jordan with 13, tying Houston for game-high honors.
Michael just bogarted Starks down in the lane and just took the basket from him.
Chris Mills.
Now,
I'm still savoring your 70s reference. He bogarted him. I mean, that expression was used in the 70s. Bogart himself would be a 40s or 50s reference. You're welcome. Knocked away by Mills, recovered by Wennington. Kerr finally misses one. Starks crashing the boards. Terry Cummings, the veteran, can't hit. And Jordan one-hands the rebound. Pace slowing just a little bit. Chicago 37, New York 34. Starks on Michael, who dribbles it off his foot and loses it. Some rare razzing for MJ.
Even the great ones make mistakes. It's nice to know that he's still human.
Jordan playing Ward. Rodman on Johnson. Johnson into the lane. Back out to Starks. The jumper. Kerr got a piece of it, but also got a piece of Starks. Starks scoreless thus far. And it stays that way.
Now, when you're struggling mentally, you lose all your confidence. You usually play better at home, but when you go on the road, that's when it really hits you. Right now, Starks is having a battle within his mind if he can get his confidence back. He stayed after practice yesterday, put up 100 extra shots, but sometimes your mind plays tricks on you.
1 of 2 at the line. In the midst of an extended shooting slump, Starks was pulled midway through the 4th quarter in Philadelphia on Friday night and had one of his shouting matches with Jeff Van Gundy, but those are almost commonplace, and they put it behind them pretty quickly. Chicago by a bucket. Kerr bounces to Rodman and then gets it back from him. Wennington turns and fires. Off the back rim, and it's pulled down by Starks. Here's Terry Cummings. Larry Johnson finding Starks. Starks is open for 3, but he's way off with it. Cummings clears the boards.
See, normally Starks would just catch that and shoot it. He's trying to find his rhythm. He had to grab it and take a bounce. He's doing anything he can to get his rhythm.
The Knicks asked for time with 7:13 to play in the half, and Chicago in front by 2. This is the NBA on NBC.
And when you look at Michael Jordan, it's the little things that makes a difference between success and failure. It's a simple pass, the understanding, the reading of the defense. He shoves Starks out of the way, using the little things. But I would advise a lot of you, don't try to do that unless you have gloves the size of Johnny Bench, that catcher's mitt. Loves playing and performing in Madison Square Garden. There's a love affair that he has here with the fans like no other athlete has had in basketball in my era.
Even in the All-Star game last month, 23 points and the MVP award. 44 in early January, his last game here, 29 of them in the second half. Pippen and Kukoc both missed that game, and MJ carried the load. Here's Cummings backing in against Wennington, shooting over him and hitting. His first 3 games after being acquired from Philadelphia, Cummings didn't score. Then he had an 18-point game, and he's averaged 10 a game since.
But Cummings has always been a big offensive threat. He can score inside and out.
Michael took it through a crowd, and a whistle blows. Jordan has a complaint about it. He thought he might have been fouled on his move, and instead they called the foul after that, after he dumped the pass off. Terry Cummings picks it up. First on Cummings. Michael. Cummings with good position on Rodman for the rebound. Johnson from Starks, hit by Wennington, and the foul is called. Johnson gets a friendly bounce, and the Knicks have the lead.
Now Larry Johnson is streaking down the court, and he's beating Wennington down the court. Wennington is matched up against him sometimes, and he's streaking down the court, beating him on transition.
Rodman with an easy rebound, averaging 14-9 in that category. It's his 7th of the first half. He leads the league by a little more than a rebound a game over the Nets' Jason Williams. Up top to Kukoc. Mills with a hand on it. He forces it to beat the shot clock, overshoots it, doesn't draw the rim, and so it's a 24-second violation.
That was good defense by New York. But Chicago has great patience. A lot of times you'll see them run that shot clock down all the way to 4 and 5 seconds and come out with a good shot. They have great offensive patience, but that time it was just great defense by the New York Knicks.
Brooks Thompson in the game for the first time, wearing number 7 for the Knicks. Kerr is on him. Starks swings it to Mills, and Chris Mills misses the 3 out of the corner. The 8th rebound for Rodman. His average of 14-9, even though it leads the league, is his lowest since 1991. He goes to the hoop and scores.
Nice play. See the patience of that. You know, when Jordan came off the pick and roll, Rodman hesitated, gave him enough time so Jordan can hit him with the bounce pass. It's the patience that they have in their offense which makes them so spectacular in their execution.
4 points for Rodman. That's just about his average. A whistle before Cummings makes his move.
Watch the hesitation. Jordan to come off, and watch Rodman hesitate. He hesitates, frees himself up, but it's the delay that he has. Watch the delay. He doesn't go too fast. They always say it's better to be too late than to be too early. Pippen responds. That's the way we practice it every single day.
Pippen was at the scorer's table waiting to check in. Before he could, Wennington picked up his 3rd foul. Now Bill goes to the bench as Pippen returns. Johnson through the lane, misses around Rodman. 9 boards now for Dennis. He hasn't had a 20 rebound game in 5 weeks. Could be on his way to one tonight. Kerr around Thompson. Looking for Michael, and Chicago loses it.
You know, when we were out to dinner last night, Bob, Michael told me that he may possibly wear his shoes tonight. He said, the thing that I'm worried about, though, is if they hurt my feet, because I haven't worn these kind of shoes in so long. And I think he slipped there, and he's having a little tough time adjusting to the old school shoes.
Cummings turns to face the basket against Kukoc. Almost lost it, recovers, fires, and misses. Rodman again, 10 rebounds for him. starting at center for the injured Luke Longley in this game. Longley didn't make the trip from Chicago. MJ with the turnaround. Missing over Starks. Rodman again. Kukoc gets it back from Rodman and misses the open jumper. Allen Houston pushes it into the front court for Starks. And it bounces to Kerr. John Starks still coming up dry from the field. And a timeout asked for by Chicago with 3:48 to play in the half. After a torrid first period, both teams having trouble scoring in the second. Chicago by 1.
We've been talking about Michael's shoes, the ones they are wearing. Now, these are the original shoes. These aren't makeup. These are the ones that he wore about 10 years ago, and at that time he wore about a size 12 and a half. Isaiah was telling me the thing he was worried about is if the shoes turn out to be too small, because now Michael wears size 13 and a half. It's a nice gesture, but just in case it didn't work, he has these right here sitting on the side. See, those are the ones he's wearing. These are the ones that are in reserve just in case those toes start barking. Bob?
All right, Ahmad. 6 of 13 from the field for Jordan so far. 13 points. He has 4 assists and a couple of turnovers.
But the thing about those old shoes, Bob, is they don't have the type of padding and cushion that the new shoes have. So those shoes were kind of hard, but, you know, the new shoes that everybody's walking around in now, those are called really air. You know, you're walking around on air. These are kind of flat and don't have the arch support that the new shoes have.
Judd Bushler is in the Chicago lineup. Steve Kerr goes out. Ron Harper back in. Harper with the ball up top to Pippen. Houston on Jordan. Michael into the lane to the left hand. He's got 15 now.
Broke him down with the quick step, went left. Nothing there.
Houston from Oakley. The Bulls by 3. Johnson inside. That was just the third field goal of the second period for the Knicks. They're 3 of 13 in this period after making 14 of 20 in the first quarter. Jordan over Houston. Rebound battle. Chase to the side. Who's got it? It's Nick Ball.
Now you see this game, it will go in spurts. You have high-scoring minutes and then you have lows. And the reason why is because you don't have the centers that you can pound it into the middle to slow the game down, to make sure that you can walk to the free throw line.
Inside 3 minutes to play until halftime. Getting free inside is Chris Mills.
Good recognition by Charles Oakley. He has the mind of a point guard when he's out there passing the ball. He recognized that his defender had slipped and took advantage of it.
And off the Oakley assist, Mills gives the Knicks the lead at 42-41. Jordan into the lane, but it's short. Out of bounds to the Knicks.
Now the Knicks will try to come back and reestablish Houston again. They'll probably put him down on the baseline, run some more screens for him to send him in at the half, still feeling warm and still feeling hot.
Mills thinking about it against Bushler. Turns and misses. Rodman again, his 12th rebound. Pippen to the front court. Ward knocks it out of bounds. Michael Jordan has launched 16 shots already, intent on having a big game tonight. He averages 23 attempts per game.
You know, people talk about how many shots that he takes, but I can tell you from playing, it's very difficult to put up 16, 23, and 25 shots every night. That takes an awful lot of work and an awful lot of energy.
Rodman with 8 on the 24. Michael. His 17th shot is batted away by Mills. And the shot clock will be reset at 1 second. The Bulls have 1 second to shoot as the ball went out of bounds, touched last by the Knicks. Pippen lobs it up near the hoop. And then Bushler picks it up, but the shot clock sounds before he gets that reverse attempt up in the air. Jackson disputing the call. You be the judge.
Well, the ball hits the rim, but it hits from out of bounds. Now, technically, the 24-second clock is not supposed to start until somebody touches the ball, not necessarily when it hits the rim. Phil Jackson argues that point, but with Joey Crawford out there, you're not going to win too many battles against him.
So the basket is negated. The Knicks maintain the 42-41 lead. Houston slicing through. Rodman comes away with it. Bushler. Oakley clears the boards for New York. Oakley and Harper with some contact, no call. Houston with a long one, and Allen Houston swishes it home.
They want to get him back into the game and have him go into the half warm.
Rodman misses the rare jumper. He'll take one now and then, sometimes for his own reasons, sometimes within the flow of the offense.
But, Bob, that was a smart shot by Rodman because it gave Chicago to have a 2-for-1 opportunity now. Now they'll get the ball coming back with 8 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Johnson from Oakley, off-balance shot is short. Here comes Michael. Spinning in the lane for the slam.
Nice. Nice. Shook him, spent him, then dunked him.
Oakley gets back, though. And Oakley, with just under 5 seconds to play, steals a basket for New York. Pippen trying to get a shot off, but he won't. After a 59-point first quarter, the Bulls and Knicks combined for only 30 in the second. After a half, the Knicks lead it 46-43. Jordan with 17 points. Rodman with 13 rebounds. Houston has 15 for New York. The last basket for Michael in this half is one to remember.
But look at the paces that Jordan has on this move. He shakes him to the right, spins him, and then lifts and dunks it in the hole.
So still the Knicks lead by 3 points, but the Bulls do look dangerous. They've won 11 of their last 13 games, but come into this match on the back of a 27-point defeat at Miami last Wednesday. They'll be keen to show that that result was just a blip. So, can they move up the gear in the second half? Find out after the break.